on C96.3. Hey, it's Grace. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Hope you had a great start to your week, and I will be back tomorrow.
C96.3.
Turn right onto McCall Road, then use the middle lane to turn left onto Tuttle Creek Boulevard.
Now, C96.3.
Use the middle lane to turn left onto Tuttle Creek Boulevard. In 800 feet, turn right onto Bloom Avenue. Turn right onto Bloom Avenue, then continue straight to stay on Bloom Avenue. Continue straight to stay on Bloom Avenue. In 300 feet, at the traffic circle, take the second exit and stay on Bloom Avenue. Exit the traffic circle onto Bloom Avenue. Continue on Bloom Avenue for half a mile. In 1,000 feet, turn right onto North 10th Street. Turn right onto North 10th Street.
Ah, motherfucker.
1,000 feet, turn left onto Thurston Street.
Elvis is just so funny. I love the fact that he's crazy and he drinks. He always has great stories. Well, he screams at everybody. He's awesome. Hello, ladies.
Morning starting at 5 on the Z.
Take the next left onto Thurston Street, then use the down the
Oh,
left.
wow. That's our first.
Your destination is on the left.
Bye.